It's not mine. Live.
Live?
We're live.
Oh, what's up?
I can't.
What's up? I feel like singing that song, but I can't think of the words right now.
Which one?
I don't know. What's up is how it starts. So,
Oh, what it is, yo?
That's it.
What's up? Is a
Hey.
That's all I got. That's all I
Okay,
got.
so the girl Miss Mimi, aka Great to Love Power Radio Show, and we got listen.
It's about to be a party
Always
today.
That's what we do.
A party.
We's alive.
Okay.
And
Yes.
it's what?
Amen.
We're alive.
Black on.
What she said.
We black on.
Black.
Yes. And we got across the table from us the infamous. Oh no, I'm sorry, not infamous, but the
I like it.
popular,
Yes.
well known, Titan Capri.
Famous. Just famous. Just famous.
Titan Capri. Right. Put your hands together
Golf
for
clap. Golf clap.
I am in the building.
Yes.
building again, and I'm
Let's
so
go.
excited to get this thing started. But you
So
already
excited.
know, I already said who I was, and across the table I got my girl.
Latriva Deneen.
Oh wait, really?
I know that was terrible. It's Latriva Deneen. I was like, who's Latriva?
You know, and for those people in there who don't know, it's short for Latriva D.
Hey,
It is Saturday. It's already almost Christmas.
can you believe? No, ma'am. First of all, you didn't give a month.
I'm gonna need
You
I'm
went
gonna need her
from
to bring it back.
Saturday to Christmas. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm gonna need her to bring it back just a little bit.
It's almost
What
Christmas.
I love about my co-host.
Oh,
She
my
always
gosh.
on point. She almost went there with
Okay.
me, y'all. I almost had her. I almost had her. She
I was
was like,
like,
wait.
no. I always want to support you. I always want, and I believe every time, and then you give me some BS.
Could be right.
So I got to put up a guard because I don't know. I don't
Just
know.
tell people how you was, because you don't know. I want to know.
It was awesome. There was a lot going on, but I will say that I am refreshed. I am optimistic. We are wrapping up this school year with these kids, and I'm about to summer.
Yeah.
I'm about to summer. And
so
so I'm excited, and there's just a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to be grateful for. I'm living, and I'm 46 and fine. Like, I just really feel like I really do feel this whole 40s is the new 20 thing. So I am enjoying where this journey is taking me. So just grateful.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you, Mr. Capri, how was your week?
My week was good. I did my third episode of my show last night.
Congratulations.
I did a rebranding and a relaunching and all of
Okay.
that good stuff.
Okay.
And so it's been good. I was just talking to Lisa today and telling her that it's really good to be not behind the scenes, just getting on the camera,
Okay,
right?
yes.
Because I normally would do everything else, but
Yes.
now I'm with Power Media and they do all of that for me and all good. And I know what you're talking about when you say 46 and fine, because I'm the big 5-0 as
Come
of March
on, looking
19th.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Woo!
Some when
I
they say
see.
black don't crack.
Don't
that's
crack,
real
don't
talk.
crack,
Tall.
baby.
That's real
Don't
talk.
crack,
That's
baby.
all,
That's
okay?
And I'm
talk.
grateful for
That's
it.
real
Listen,
Yeah.
okay,
Grateful for
so I just want to know. Can I borrow your AARP?
ARB.
What? I'm
Look,
waiting
hold
on
wait a
mine.
minute.
Right there.
Hold on, wait a
yes.
minute, because everybody was
Okay.
calling me and telling me I should have got mine in the mail or something by now.
Yes.
And I'm still trying to figure out where
Yes.
mine is.
So do they look for you? Do they just
So I don't know if it's something that's
you gotta
that's,
sign up for it?
that's I don't know if it's public record or what.
Right. It's like
They
everybody who was
send
born
it
in
to
70,
you.
70
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, because a friend of mine who's already
Yeah.
over.
Okay.
So I need to figure out how I'm supposed to get mine.
because they get discounts.
Come on, man.
Okay.
On everything.
Come on, man.
Well, I'ma
Discounts on
start-
air,
I'm going
on
all the way
dirt.
down.
Shoot.
I'm doing veterans.
I'm
doing.
telling you,
I'm
go
doing-
down the list, get them
Yeah.
all.
I'm
All of
trying
that,
to tell
all
you.
of that.
There got to be an app to put all your benefits together. They need
Something.
to figure that
Why
out.
you tripping?
Come on, for real,
I'm so
for real.
serious. Give 'em like a little, like having a little discount, little discount Rolodex.
But my week was okay. I made it
Mhm.
through. The verdict came in, and
Yes.
I'm a home health care
Yes.
provider, and I was at one of the houses, and it actually kind of subdued. I thought the house was going to be kind of hot,
Mhm.
but my client was very subdued.
Mhm.
And then the other lady who wants to always talk politics had nothing to say.
Yeah. I literally took a breath
Mhm.
I took a deep breath.
Mhm.
It's been a long time coming,
Mhm.
and we still have a ways to go.
That we do.
So I don't want to rain on nobody's parade,
Mhm.
but I want to say to people that it was a great thing.
Mhm.
It was a good thing,
Mhm.
but don't let this stop you from fighting the good fight.
Right.
Keep on fighting, keep on pushing, keep on asking, because we know, and I used to be a avid juror.
Okay.
So every time that letter came in the mail, everybody
Sign it
ran
up.
away from being
Right.
a juror.
Sign it
I was
up,
the
ready
one.
to go. I
Sure.
can't come to work today. I got jury duty.
And what happened was not only was it good, because sometimes you get those cases
Look,
like 7 days,
Yes.
and they feed you and they pay for it, all this stuff. You get that nice little check in the
check
mail.
at the end.
You ever get it? You
Yes,
ever get
sir.
it?
Yeah, it was
That
$8.
check can be
because I
no,
didn't
no,
get
no, no.
paid. I didn't
Mine
get
was 7 days, I think. 7 days, and literally my check was a good couple of dollars.
That's good.
So I said, "Oh yes," but what it taught me, and being in the courts, was how things work.
Mhm.
See, we think once you get a verdict, that's the end be all.
Right.
But then there's a sentencing part.
Yes.
So therefore, there's probably 3 or 4 sentences on the table, right? There could be no jail time and probation.
Mhm.
There could be 30 years
sure.
and you get out in 5, or you go, 30 years and you get out in 10, or you could get just straight jail,
Mhm.
no out, no nothing. And so sometimes you have to think about that, because we would have one person on the jurors that would say no, and then we locked.
Yeah.
Wow.
We locked. And then
Yeah.
that would be the deciding factor. So
Yeah.
I'm not telling anybody don't have your moment.
Mhm.
Yes, it's a
Absolutely.
moment. But what I am saying is don't stop the good fight.
Right.
Keep on fighting,
Right.
keep on pushing, keep on. And I don't want anybody to feel like we gotta be angry and fight,
Mhm.
like physically fight,
Mhm.
but we gotta stop letting people just run up on us and run
Right.
amok and
Right.
just do what they do,
Treating us any
because
kind of way.
yeah, because it's one of those things. My grandmother said to me years ago. I'm gonna be real quick, y'all. She said to me years ago. She said, "You're not gonna understand until the white man put his knee in your back."
Wow.
Now, this is when I was a teenager, because I thought I was, I
Yeah.
knew everything.
Yeah.
And she said that to me, and then I was sitting here watching. And she has dementia now, but
Mhm.
I was sitting here watching with her and my mother the trial,
Mhm.
and I just thought about what she said, and I
Yeah.
said to myself, we want to think that the times are different,
Yeah.
but they're not so far gone.
At all.
They're not
Right.
so far gone. Like they're right
Right.
here at your door.
Absolutely.
I had army buddies. I was in the military for 8 years. I had army buddies telling me that I wasn't that type of
Black.
Negro.
Oh.
Yeah,
Let's be clear.
exactly. So
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to ever not be. I want you to relax.
Army.
I want you to be black, and I want you to
Enjoy
love
your
yourself
life,
and enjoy
yes.
your life. But I want you to be honest about what it is to be in this world, right?
Right.
And our children should know,
Mhm.
because our grandparents and our ancestors knew, so they should know. So I'm gonna jump off of that, but I just really wanted to say we took a deep breath and we thank God for what it was,
Right.
but do understand how the system is set up.
Right.
That sometimes that fight doesn't end there.
Oh,
it
definitely.
continues on.
Yeah,
It
Definitely.
continues
Yeah.
on.
And
And definitely-
we've seen that in terms of just the fact that there are cases that
Yes.
drag on for years.
Yes.
So your
Yes.
point is
Yes.
absolutely valid.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
And then also, like you said, don't stop the good fight. It doesn't stop. I think now is the time to really, really, truly dig in. Now that we've noticed that, some of the teachings that we probably got in our
Right.
era have lapsed. Pick it up and run with it.
Mhm.
That part.
I lapsed at one point because I was like, shit, I'm not cheering this.
Right.
Why I gotta, and then somebody
Right.
made a point. Well, yeah, but you still come across people.
Yeah.
You still come across
Mhm.
other people's children and other
Yes.
people,
Mhm.
period. And I
Yes.
know stuff
Mhm.
that they don't know.
Mhm.
So don't hold it, give it.
Right.
So it's still time to teach and learn and make sure that we know what our rights are in
Exactly.
this game, in
Mhm.
this system
Yes.
that we are in,
That
so
part.
that we can
That's so
do
real.
something with it when the situation comes or help somebody else.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And I think that's real huge. I think a lot of times my motto or what I follow by is silence is violence. If we're quiet about it, if we keep it in the house, old school, what happens in this house stays in this house.
That's right.
But if you're being abused or you're
That's
being
right.
sexually molested or anything like
That's
that,
right.
or you have racism, in your
Oh,
community
my
or
God,
anything like
that's
that.
so good.
We always want to be quiet. We don't want to tell nobody. And me, I'm different. I'm singing like a bird. Everywhere I go, I'm always saying I'm a black gay man who's HIV positive. And some people say, well, why are you always announcing that you're HIV positive? And I'm saying, because that's a part of me, right? That's a part of me. And the only way that I can help sometimes is saying, is voicing my story, telling you what's going on. Because if I don't tell you, then you never know. Like nobody knew anything about a police having his knee on the back of somebody's neck for 9 minutes, whether that was good, bad, what would happen. And you see how they tried to flip it and say it was his enlarged heart. It was, that didn't cause his death. But you watched for 9 minutes. So sometimes we have to make sure that we got, and I heard you all say earlier that the other cops were chiming in and saying, that's not right, that's not it. There comes a time when you just cannot be quiet any longer. You got to be vocal. And especially for us people of color, we have got to talk about it. We have got to let our kids know. And then we have got to be able to let people understand. And that's part of what I do with being an HIV advocate, just to make sure that people understand. But I don't want to jump over y'all like I'm talking. Y'all know I get passionate and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? You got to take it and
get
run with it.
Get the rocking and doing the old nigga swing low.
Swaying and carrying on.
Okay. I'm gonna let y'all sing that because I really thought you was about to chime in.
No, ma'am.
No? You don't know the words?
Oh, you want to give me one?
Oh, I know the words. I'm not singing.
Low.
Sweet chariot.
Sweet chariot.
Coming forward to carry me home. There you go.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Here's a better one. There's a leak
In this building.
Okay, come on now.
And my soul
has got to move.
I can't.
Yes, come on. Has got.
There you go.
Has got to move.
I'm just saying. So
come on. Ooh, I should have bought a Honda.
I just told you. In the Honda at the highest. Okay, but and that's how we do.
Y'all know not to let me
radio.
loose. Y'all know not to let me
We
loose.
don't act right. We act right all the time.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're here with Titan Capri, and after these messages, we're going to tell you who he is and let him give you his information. Because he brought us some information which I absolutely love. When I called Titan to see if he would grace us again, he was like, "Oh yeah, and I can talk about this and that and that." And 30 minutes later, I was like, "Hey, this was supposed to be a 5-minute conversation." But I miss you though.
She don't want to hang up. She didn't want to hang up.
I didn't. I didn't. So after these messages,
Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle but have less than perfect credit? Look no further than Me Amigo Motors, offering in-house financing to help you build or reestablish your credit. All vehicles are put through a multi-point inspection, and their award-winning customer service and on-site service center will make your buying experience stress-free. I know you got your stimulus check and it's tax refund season, so stop by Me Amigo Motors today at 9729 Long Point Road or give them a call at 832-548-5927 to reserve your appointment for their VIP approval. Again, that's 832-548-5927. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
and we are back. I wish I could see the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But anyway,
we're back home.
Yes, all day, every day. So, if you'd like to have a show with Stunner Radio, make sure you check us out, www.stunnerradio.com. Sponsor. www.stunnerradio.com/sponsor. We'd love to have you on board. We're back with Titan Capri, who is and he'll tell you this stuff. I love the way he says, but I'll say it because he's my homie.
Absolutely.
He is a Black HIV positive singer, dancer, writer, actor. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But I'm gonna put it out there.
You better.
You dance?
You better roll it down.
I
I used to back in the day.
It's the parlez-vous
As the
français.
old folks would say, I used to cut a rug back in the
Yeah,
day. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? I put a little
yes.
hole in it. Put a little hole in it.
And he is a cook.
Ooh,
Chef Boyardee Negro.
I'm just trying to told you with the
I do a little
cake.
Chef
something. I do a little
Boyardee
something.
Negro.
Listen, all in one. And
Indeed.
so I'm so excited to have him here to discuss
Teach the people.
the differences between HIV and AIDS,
Okay.
to discuss and some of the other things that you are a part part of now because you've been an HIV advocate for some time.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, if I'm not mistaken, you started working with, I can never think of the people down the street.
AFH,
Them.
AIDS Foundation Houston.
Okay.
And so things have really taken off for you. So tell us what it is that you do and load us up with these nuggets you got. Because y'all, I'm looking at 4, 5, 10
Teach
pages of
me.
notes. And I'm loving it.
Well, everybody, my name is Titan Capri. I am a Black gay male who is HIV positive, thriving with HIV. I will be celebrating my 16th year of being HIV positive in May. I will be celebrating 14 years of being undetectable.
Man.
So with that being said, yeah, I am a author. I host a show called The Thought to Ponder. And The Thought to Ponder is a show where I basically talk about what's going on in the world and what's happening, but with my own twist, right? It's a whole lot of love, a lot of spirit, a lot of good energy. And the motto is, there was no other reason you were put on this earth other than to be blessed and to be a blessing. So your life matters, my life matters, we all matter around here. All Black lives matter.
Oh, just saying.
Yes.
So what happened was, and this is something that me and Miriam has talked about before, is that when I was first diagnosed, the doctor came in and told me I had AIDS and just walked out of the room, right? A lot of people say, oh, well, Titan, that's kind of drastic. That really didn't happen. No, my mama was sitting right over here, and me and her were both looking at each other like, who the, okay, like, what, like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? So it took me a while, right? But then I came into my own about 2018, going 2019. I decided to sit down and speak my truth and tell the world. I did it on a Facebook Live and just spoke about what I had been through, things like that. It wasn't an oh, woe, it's me, but it was a me letting go of all of the trauma, all of the pain. I had been holding on for so long. I hadn't told the world exactly what had happened or what had went on with me. And then a lot of stigma was surrounding my HIV positive status, who I am, so forth and so on. So I kind of shed those layers. And then I started working with AFH, which is AIDS Foundation Houston. And I started as a peer navigator. And basically what a peer navigator does is I'm the one that goes in after you've been diagnosed positive, and I talk to you, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, right? I like to, but that's my claim to fame. I like to come in and just talk with you. So because I was diagnosed the way that I was, my job or my purpose, right? This is what I believe God put me on this earth for. My purpose was to make sure that nobody else goes through the same thing that I went through. So I can make that transition from you being diagnosed to treatment to care, a smooth one. And I'm there with you the whole time like that. Now, I didn't know that was my purpose, right? So it's a 2-4. My purpose really and truly, in all honesty, is just to be me. So that's me being open and honest about my status, open and honest about who I am. I'm a big old Black man, right, that happen to like men, love men. I'm HIV positive. I still live. I still thrive. I still do things. You know what I mean? I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a brother, cousin, uncle, all of those things, right? Okay. And a good old nephew. Hey, auntie. Good old nephew. And so sometimes we don't know. So I'm going to go back to that being silent is violence, right? The reason why when Miriam said that we talked for 30 minutes, like she talked like that. Well, we don't talk like that every time we talk, but we do. We get on the phone and be like one question, and here it is, 50 minutes later, and we still talking.
That's so lovely.
So what I wanted to do today was be on my HIV advocacy today, and I wanted to talk to the listeners and the viewers and just give some basics of HIV. And I think that's where we can actually start, right? A lot of times we think HIV looks nasty. We think it's horrible. We think that, you know, you are out here just wilding out and spreading things and doing all this kind of stuff. And it's really not that, right? It's really not that. I've been HIV positive for 16 years, and it doesn't look like the media or how people make it look. So I had a couple of things that I highlighted. She said I brought about 15 pages. Yeah. But
Twin
so I just wanted to let people know what HIV is, right? It's a human immunodeficiency. Now, I say that slowly like that because a lot of people get chopped up, and I do all the time. So I'll be like, look, let me slow it down. That's what I learned in school.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If I can't pronounce it, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
you gotta
saying?
do it.
Phonetically, come on,
Yeah,
come
you
on,
gotta-
come,
you
yeah,
got your-
yeah,
clap
come
it
on,
out.
come on. So the human
Good teaching
immunodeficiency
skill.
virus, right?
I
Yes.
still
It-
clap out my-
Come on, that's how you do it. It attacks the body's immune system and limits the body's ability to fight diseases. So that's what it does. So basically, what happens is HIV enters your bloodstream, and then what it does, it destroys cells and it makes copies of the virus, right? Of the virus. You're hearing me talk about two things. One is your viral load. That's how many copies of the virus you have in your body. Then the other is your CD4 count, right? Your CD4 cells or your T cells. Okay. And then if you look here, a lot of people say, well, why people always say HIV and AIDS, right? AIDS is the late stage, which we call it stage 3, right, of HIV. And that's normally when your CD4 cells fall below 200. So when we're looking at being undetectable, the two things that we're looking for is for your CD4 cells to be above 200. We would like them to be 500 and more. But if we have above 200, then we're good because we can fight the good fight. So go ahead.
Can I ask,
Sure,
are
go
T
ahead.
cells the same as CD4 cells?
Yes,
Okay,
they are.
Okay.
They are.
Okay.
So you'll hear a lot of people say CD4, right?
Now,
And even
yeah.
when you reach your labs, it'll say CD4,
Okay.
right? Something like that. So just so you know, T cells is what it was back in the day,
Right.
but it's still the same thing.
Mhm.
Yes, any doctor they'll say T cells, CD4
Contemporary,
cells,
okay.
right? And then so when I say that your viral load, you're looking for it to be under 20, right?
Okay.
So what we're looking at is that you have under 20 copies of the virus
Wow. In your
in just a little milliliter of blood. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the thing is, what happens is you are you contract HIV, and what happens is the virus multiplies. It goes into your cells, it kills them, and replicates and replicates and replicates. So when you're not getting treatment, you're not on medication, things like that, then the virus will run rampant. Our goal is to diagnose you early on, right? And then be able to do treatment, okay? And if you look down on the bottom of the second sheet, yes, y'all, it's two sheets. Okay, two sheets. It basically lets you know that approximately 1.2 million people in the US are living with HIV today.
Wow.
About 14% of them, that's 1 in 7, don't know it and need testing. That's why it's so important for us to be tested. So I tell anybody, get tested, whether you're gay, straight, blue, purple, orange, yellow, get tested. That's the only way you're going to be able to fight this. This is no longer, like some people would say, a gay disease, right? You know, that's what they always would say. Oh, well, no, it's not that.
No.
It's running rampant in our communities. And if you look down below, it says HIV continues to have a disproportionate impact on certain populations, particularly people of color, our Black and brown sisters and brothers. So we need to make sure that we are doing that. And that's part of what I do in my HIV advocacy is that I want to let people know and to talk about it and not be quiet about it. So our goal is to U equals U. Undetectable means untransmittable. Right. So if the goal is to have your viral load less than 20 copies. So if I cannot detect it in your blood, right, then I can't transmit it.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So U equals U. Undetectable mean I can't detect it.
Equals
Untransmittable.
Okay.
And that way we go with that. Now that doesn't say you don't still have HIV, right?
Sure.
Because at any time that the suppressors is not there to suppress the virus, it'll start copying again, if you would. So I'm breaking it down in layman's terms, okay? Because we're not talking no doctor talk.
No,
We're not talking about the no.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, bruh, the virus is in your system. It's going to duplicate. It's going to make copies. What you need to do is be able to fight that, right? Doing treatment as prevention. And that's taking your medication, making sure you adhere to it so that you can get down below 20 copies and your CD4 count can be above 200.
Nice.
And that way you can be undetectable, and then you can have a long lasting thrive in life because you are doing treatment as prevention. So the treatment is taking your medication, and that's prevention.
Prevention.
You're right.
So is it possible to get from, like, is it an ebb and a flow with HIV? So is it possible to get to start at a place where you have a lot of replication of the virus in your body, and then through treatment,
Yes.
you get that down? Is it possible to get below 20 once you've exceeded that number?
Correct. So I'll give you a two facts.
Okay.
When I was diagnosed with AIDS, I only had 4 T cells. My viral load was 370,000.
Per drop.
So my
So you're
viral,
saying that was the
my
replication.
body. So just
The rate of
compare it.
replication.
So compare it. I'm now I'm undetectable, right?
Okay.
Now I'm undetectable.
Okay.
So I'm below 20.
Okay.
They can't detect it in my blood.
Okay.
But just think about 370, and I think it was higher than that.
Right.
But I just remembered that particular
number.
labs.
Yeah.
You know, it was 370,000
At
copies.
some point, yeah.
So, and I only had 4 T cells. So I had no good cells to
Defend
for the
yourself.
fight.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I started on my medication. I started on a cocktail, right? Now I only take 2 pills, but back then it was 5.
Yeah, okay.
I took 5. It was a cocktail. And the goal was for me to get down to, and it used to be 50 copies. Now it's 20, but get my viral load down. And it took a while, right? I had night sweats, I had chills, I had stomach issues, all of that. The medicine, sometimes didn't work because I was had so many copies of it. So my normal functions were not working correctly. You know what I'm saying? So the common cold could have took me out, right?
Sure.
So and then I did get sick.
Which is the issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did get sick. I got pneumonia. And so after I got pneumonia, I was in the hospital for about a month. And so they had to work on me to get me back. And so that's why it's so important for me and individuals like me, peer navigators, case managers, and people like peer specialists and things like that, to be there when you are diagnosed so that we can get you moving on that. And it's a taxing type of thing.
Yeah,
because it's a lot coming at you at that time.
Yeah,
right?
because I'm imagining you have to process what they're saying is happening to you medically.
Exactly.
And if you don't take in the process that it's going to take towards your healing, and you get stuck in the fact that, oh, I have this, if you get mentally stuck, it keeps you from moving forward towards your healing.
It does.
And so I can understand that you need a team to kind of help you deal with, okay, I'm grieving over this, but we got to keep moving.
Right.
Okay, a part of this process means that we got to get your treatment this way. So we got to, so I would imagine you need so many people to just kind of help you stay up.
Right.
So that you can move through it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I didn't truly understand when I first started how deep this runs, right? And I'm all feelings and emotions and all that spiritual stuff. And so I started seeing what people were talking about, like at a disproportionate rate, our younger individuals, 18 to 24. That's our highest demographic.
Wow.
And so it makes me think, again, we go back to, you're not talking about this because you can't wait for the school. You can't wait for other people to educate. You can't wait for the streets to educate your children.
Because this is a virus,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So if we parallel it with the way that we attacked and approached the coronavirus,
That part.
then the ways that we could deal with treatment and education could have the same kind of effect for our communities, because we just kept talking about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is in communities that are less desirable is why I think this is so that's why we're not talking about
Right.
it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
And so I'm like, okay, it's a virus. So I mean, it's just kind of changing my understanding of it, right? So like the coronavirus, like
Yeah.
literally. So when you're talking to me about, okay, certain medicines wouldn't work and certain things
Right.
wouldn't happen, and I'm having these reactions,
Mhm.
it's a virus. Your
Yes.
body is responding.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I'm okay. Go ahead, because this is just
Well, when
from
that
'93 when this became
a
on the
thing.
scene,
Mhm.
Right.
and
So-
to have only been afraid.
Yeah.
And to now be at a table and it's like, wait, and to have all of this experience and
Yeah.
say, okay,
Mhm.
virus.
Right.
Yeah.
treatment,
How come it
treatment.
was an attack?
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
like they're
This
doing
situation, this was a
coronavirus.
pandemic, could have
Mhm.
been, you know what I'm saying?
No, it was.
Epidemic
It was
would be
epidemic.
more
Yeah,
would more
it was.
accurate, but
Still
it's
is.
like
Mhm.
Still is.
it just baffles me.
Yeah.
Is all. But go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I'm. That's the reason why I told Miriam when I said I was coming today. I said I wanted to bring something so that we can talk about it. I go on these platforms and I go places all the time, and what's disheartening, what hurts my spirit the most, is that these are babies.
Yes.
These are youngsters.
Yeah.
So how
They
is it
shouldn't be having the
2021?
same experience right now that
Exactly.
was in
How are you
93.
having the same experience? Okay,
Right.
so I'm gonna go
Right.
back to me, 2005.
Right.
How are you having the same experience? I had 2005
Yeah,
and
in
2021.
That's right.
She said the 90s. This was way back in the 80s.
Right.
Mhm.
People were dropping like flies
Right.
because nobody was talking about it.
Right.
The medication was too strong.
Right.
It was tearing you up on the inside,
Right.
things like that. Then we shifted. And the medication make you have stomach issues. It may have a rash or something like that.
Mhm.
So it was a cocktail.
Mhm.
Now we're down to one pill a day.
Mhm.
You can take one pill a day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now they have out that you can actually have shots, get a
Mhm.
shot once a month.
Wow.
So the things
It
are
took
moving
so
and
long.
going.
Yeah.
But
But we're not talking
But
about
why? Why?
Yeah, but
And
why?
that's the other part. Because when you look at 18 to 24, those are
Mhm.
babies.
Mhm.
They are coming out of high school and
Yeah.
going to
it.
college.
Yeah.
And they don't have it.
No.
You can have all the bachelors, associates, masters, PhDs, DDDs, QREs, all that stuff. But you don't know what it takes to be healthy or
Yeah.
thrive with
Yeah.
HIV.
Yeah.
You don't know your status.
Mhm.
There's a breakdown somewhere. Somebody,
All of it.
right?
Yeah.
Somebody
'Cause we don't
is
talk about
hiding.
sex.
Yeah.
Okay, come
Because
on.
we don't talk about sex. Just
Exactly.
period.
Who
The
doesn't
natural
wanna
do
Exactly.
it. Just the fact
Exactly.
that this is something that you're going to have. This
Yes.
is something that is going to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you need to be aware that not only babies can
Right.
come out of this, like a baby would be,
Yeah.
you know, something that is not seen as
And a baby
a-
can come out positive.
true story.
Indeed.
But the baby is not the worst thing that can happen as a result
Exactly.
of sex.
Because
is what
you
I'm
have
saying.
STIs, you have
Absolutely.
HIV, you have all of these things that are out there. And I think it's wrong for us to send our children out
Yeah.
into the world
I
blind.
agree.
Look, and I'm not saying anybody
I
is,
agree.
but blind, deaf, and dumb.
I
Like it
agree.
doesn't make sense
I
for us to do
agree.
that. And I talk with my daughter, I talk with my nieces and my nephews and my little cousins and anybody. I'll talk to anybody that listens.
Mhm.
But I talk to them all. And one thing you just said about sex that I have down on the sheet is sex positivity.
Mhm.
It's on the second sheet.
Oh,
Mary.
Yes.
my bad. Sorry,
Yes.
'cause I was
Yes.
trying to
So
scan.
I want to say this really quickly, y'all.
Oh,
So
I see it.
I've had the question, how can I protect myself? Okay. Number one, don't have sex. I'm not going to tell you don't have sex because we know everybody's doing it.
But that's
right?
the way to protect yourself.
Okay. Okay. Abstinence, if that's what you want to do, that's what you do.
Yeah, true.
Be monogamous.
Yeah.
Have only one partner, only sleep with one partner, do all of that.
Make sure
I'm
they
not
sleep with
shaming
one
nobody
partner.
who's poly or anything like that. You do you.
But
Yeah.
this is if you
But-
want to be safe.
There you go. That's on
You
you.
want to get up
And then also too is get tested and know your partner status.
Come on.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's nothing sexier to me than knowing my partner status.
Mhm.
Let us both be able to make good decisions,
Yes,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me have the chance to make a decision to say whether or not I want to go down this road.
Mhm.
So if that's the case in point, and I love you like I say I do,
Mhm.
then you don't have no problem with us going and getting
That's
tested,
right.
right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
That way, again, treatment as prevention.
Mhm.
We can go ahead and work with it.
Mhm.
Then the next part is sex positivity. It's an attitude towards human sexuality that regards all consensual sexual activities as fundamentally healthy and pleasurable,
That's
encouraging
good.
sexual pleasure and experimentation.
That's good.
That's what we have to do. It's not the bad, it's not the boogeyman.
Mhm.
We're sending our children out here to
That's
learn
right.
in the back of cars,
That's right.
behind houses,
Yeah,
behind
that's
trash cans,
That's
you know,
right.
you know, and yeah,
That's
you know,
right.
and I'm not
Church
being-
fellowship halls.
Just saying. behind the pew.
Okay, come on.
Sunday school room.
Don't forget the baseball. Oh, but
See,
anyway.
okay, y'all. So look, but I'm saying that like let's be real. That's being real. That's being real.
It is. It is. And we'll be right back in a few seconds, I'm sorry, with more of Titan Capri and his information.
If you're looking for a keynote speaker for your next event, look no further than Miss Mimi of Mimi Speaks, specializing in panel discussions, women's luncheons and conferences, and fashion shows and trade shows. Miss Mimi brings her unique blend of experience and training to make a lasting impression on your guests and clients. With powerful, engaging, thought-provoking topics and presentations, Miss Mimi will provide your guests with meaningful takeaways and life-changing revelations. Also available for red carpet interviews and premieres. Email us today at iammissmeme@gmail.com for booking information. That's iammissmeme@gmail.com. If you're looking
And we're black home.
Yes, we are back.
I got it.
Y'all.
I got
Yeah, I
it.
was here back
with y'all.
Shenanigans is everything.
That part.
We're here with we're gonna have more from Titan Capri of Thoughts of Hunter podcast. And so
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So my question was, how long does it take for the virus to replicate? I remember you saying as far as early detection is key.
Mhm.
So making sure that we identify that we've contracted it and we get on a treatment plan is critical. But like, how long does it take to get to that?
Okay. Sometimes it varies, right? Sometimes it varies. I think for you to get antibodies in your system, and we're going to go back and talk just like with COVID.
Mhm.
For you to get antibodies, it can be anywhere from 30 days, 3 months,
Okay.
or anything like that. The part that gets me is that most people have a inkling or a feeling
That's something.
that they're HIV positive.
Oh wow.
And they don't go to get checked out. They don't go and get tested. And so when we speak about getting tested, you want to get tested on the regular. You want to get tested all the time.
Okay.
If you are sexually active, period, right? You want to be tested. You want to be tested for STIs and all of that
How
good
often?
stuff. Normally you can do it every 3 months,
Okay.
right? But most people say twice a year, right?
Okay.
Twice a year. But I think if you really want to, if you are out,
And you're sexually active.
well, let me back up
Okay.
because I don't want to shame anybody, right? If you're a person that loves sex, you be sex, you do sex, you have sex upside down and around, you do all of that good stuff.
Mhm.
But just protect yourself. That's what I'm asking. So if you don't know your status, I say go and get tested now to know your status. What you want to do 2 months down the road, or either a month down the road.
Right.
There are free testing sites all around Houston.
Oh wow.
If you're in Houston, probably if you're listening and you're in another city, check your testing sites in your city. AIDS Foundation Houston, where I work at, we have confidential free testing, STI testing, right? And HIV testing, right? We have the rapid and we do blood draws. So that's something that people don't really know. And I'm trying to encourage people to come and be tested, but everybody's talking about the confidential aspect of it, right? And here's my thing. I'll put it like this. This is what I say to anybody. You want to live? You're going to live.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to know your business somewhere down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, the reason things are happening the way they're happening to you is because don't nobody know your business.
Yeah.
And you can't fight something that you don't know
That's
about.
right.
Yeah.
So I couldn't fight my disease, or I couldn't fight the virus, not knowing what it took to fight, not
That's
knowing
right.
what I needed to do to be undetectable, not knowing what I needed to do. I need to sleep more.
Yeah.
I need to exercise.
Yeah.
I needed to tell my doctor if I saw something,
Yeah.
pop up on my body.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or if it's something on my bottom or something between my legs or something on the
Right.
back of my neck. I had to be
So you need to
open
know, yeah.
and all of that. So I'm not trying to tell anybody that you're not
Don't.
good
Yeah.
with it, right? But you need to know your status.
Mhm.
Number one, you need to know your status. Number two, and then there's 2 things that you can actually do. So if you are out and you want to protect yourself, another added layer of protection is PrEP,
Come on,
right?
talk to me about this.
Pre-exposure prophylaxis, right?
Okay.
It's a 1 pill a day medical intervention that prevents transmission of the virus more than 90% of the time,
Wow.
right? So basically, what you're doing prevention again. You're taking PrEP, right, once a day, okay, and that's to stop you from getting the virus, okay.
So is that an over the counter?
No, you
No.
have to go in and actually have a PrEP consultation. We do that also
Okay.
at AIDS Foundation Houston. But ladies and gentlemen that are listening and watching, and the ladies that are in here,
Mhm.
all we have to do is Google, right? We
Yeah.
can go to cdc.gov. We can go to hiv.gov. We can go to AIDS Help org, which is who I work for. But there's a plethora
Mhm.
of organizations around the city
Mhm.
that are there to help you with that and to get you through.
Mhm.
So I don't want anybody to think or feel that you can't speak on it.
Mhm.
But if you come and talk to me, we're going to talk about the real.
Yeah.
I tell anybody, I can't help you if you don't know what you need help with.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. So if you feel that you're HIV positive, we get tested, we find out that you're positive. We're going to walk through the steps, but you got to know your numbers.
Yeah.
You got to know where you're
have to
at.
know yourself.
You got to know
It's-
how many CD4 cells you have,
Mhm.
right? And you have to
And
know your
your
viral
viral
load.
load, right.
Go ahead.
So for PrEP, is it this only for males? Because
No.
everything I've ever seen, and mind you, I'm only learning through commercials right
Yes.
now. But everything I've seen, it references that it's maybe that medication is for males.
Correct,
Okay.
correct, correct,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
So
I was going to ask the same thing because the
Okay.
commercials show males, or if it was a female, it
It's the
appeared to be a
transition.
trans.
Right.
yes, yes,
Person.
a trans
So I
woman.
was like, is this for,
Right.
and is it for
Trans man.
heterosexual
Right.
people?
Oh, great question.
So you are able to I don't want to misquote. So what I'll say is this. What you can do is actually, matter of fact,
Is it on
Um,
page 10?
look, I thought I put it down here. I'll get it for you, but it's for males and it's for
Oh, it's for
yes,
males.
it's for males
Okay.
and it's for trans women
Oh, okay.
and
Mhm.
our trans population. So it's not my forte,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So I'll hold that.
Sure.
But I do have somebody that I can contact and we'll
find
get the
out.
clarification
Okay.
About
and make
PrEP.
sure correct.
Okay.
Because they do have different medications,
Mhm.
right? But in particular,
Mhm.
this is for males,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
If you were born
Mhm.
male.
Okay.
I
Right?
want to ask
Because
another
a lot
question
of-
about
yeah.
that because a lot of males are, engaging secretly
Mhm.
with other males,
Mhm.
and then they
Yeah.
have a heterosexual partner.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so, how, if a woman has a suspicion of that, how would you go about handling that?
So I think it goes back to the sex positivity part, right? This is what I like to say is that I had the conversation with my partner. I figured out, I believe that if you're having sex, period, right, you should be getting tested
Mhm.
for STIs, for
Mhm.
HIV, and all of that. I think that if I'm good with my partner, I should be able to talk to you about anything,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I should be able to talk to you about if it's looking blue or black, or if
Mhm.
it's bumpy, or anything like that. And so I
Mhm.
think sometimes you want to approach. Let me say this: I don't think people always say, "Oh, well, the down low,"
Mhm.
or this or that. I don't think that there's such a big problem with the down low, if you would, or people hiding it or not doing it. I think what happens is we are brought up or we are trained. Y'all were talking about unlearning things earlier.
Mhm.
We have been taught that it's not right for us to be okay with our sexuality. We have
Right.
been taught that it's not right for you to be a black man and be gay. We
Right.
have taught that you should not have feminine traits. You're a man.
Right.
And so I think that when you are able to talk with your partner, right, you should be able to have that conversation.
Mhm.
To answer Lisa's question, I don't have an issue with it,
Right.
right? Because I've been with females and I've been with males,
Mhm.
right? However, I think when the conversation cannot be breached
Mhm.
between the two,
Mhm.
because there's something going on there,
Sure.
right? Then that's where the problem comes in. That's how the stigma carries over and makes everything to the point to where I can't tell you. So let's say, for instance, me and Lisa, are together,
Mhm.
and I want to tell Lisa, right? I really want to say, hey, this is what it is, but every time I'm in a atmosphere, it's toxic, right?
Right.
There's stigma all around. Everybody's going to look at me. They're going to point at me. People are saying things.
Mhm.
So I'm more prone to not speak on it to Lisa because of everything that's happening.
Mhm.
But if I am truly in love with Lisa and I want to protect her like I want to protect myself, I need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
I think a good way to have a conversation, to answer the question totally, is to have the conversation about HIV or STIs, right?
STIs, mhm.
And be able to talk about that, because we have all of these things that are out there.
Mhm.
And 9 times out of 10, if you are trying not to be pregnant, as we said earlier, right? That's the least of your worries.
Yes.
There's STIs out there. There's syphilis, gonorrhea. There are things out there that you need to be
As concerned about.
educated on,
Mhm.
so that you know. So the only thing that I would say is that education on HIV, STIs, being tested, things like that. And you can do a rapid test, right?
I wanted to bring that up because I had a friend who I, gave my advice to, and I got like
Chewed out.
killed. Like
Wow.
people was saying, don't get that kind of advice.
Mhm.
Well, my thing was she found out her dude was bi,
Okay.
but she loved him. I
Mhm.
was like, if you love him, it's
What's the
nobody
issue?
else's business
Mhm.
as long as you don't care.
Mhm.
If it don't bother you, because she was bi also. So how
Right.
can you have a double standard?
Right.
So if you can be with women and with him, why can't he be with men and with you?
Right.
Mhm.
But I got so many people saying, "Are you crazy? Then that means he's gay." No, he's bi.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why it has to be
Right.
a double standard.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you love a person, why can't you just
Love
be
that
adult
person.
about it
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is how we're gonna handle this. This is
Yeah.
how we're gonna handle that."
Have that uncomfortable
Especially with Black
conversation.
people, because I feel like it's a lot of that, and people are forced into hiding and being
Yeah.
We're
ashamed.
so worried
and-
about other people's
but if you
opinions.
love somebody,
Yep.
why
But
can't you
That's the
accept
part,
that?
though. That's the point. That's where it becomes harmful behavior, right? Because I tell people all the time, I'm going to ask you questions that are going to make you uncomfortable.
Mhm.
I'm going to talk to you about things that are not necessarily talked to you about,
on a regular
right?
basis,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because I have to know. In order for me to help you, I can't help you if I don't know. You can't help yourself if you don't
Right.
know.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so there are bisexual people out there. There are people that love everybody. There are
Mhm.
people that I like to say that I'm a social butterfly. I like to go here, go there, do whatever. They're out there, and I think we have to break that stigma. We have to stop that from actually happening, to say that we can't talk about it, because she was bi, right? She was bisexual. She loves men and women.
Mhm.
It's accepted.
Mhm.
But if a man
Right.
is doing that, then it's
Right.
not accepted.
Right. It's
So
an
our
issue.
communities, our Black communities, our communities of men and women, however it may be, we have to be open enough to do that. How is it that we want to live and we want to thrive? And here's the thing, I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy my sex. I want to enjoy my love. I want to enjoy all
That's
of that. I want
right.
to be able to open up and be just as free as I want to be.
Yeah.
But you can't do that when people are sitting here saying, no, don't do that. Or you're sitting here saying, okay, she downed it, didn't she? You're sitting here saying that you don't want to talk about it. Oh, the comment.
Oh,
Oh, you're sitting there, you're sitting here doing things like that and not being open to it. So what I did was, and me and Miriam talked about this once before, I don't have no filter anymore.
Mhm.
It is what it is. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
I am who I am.
Mhm.
You either accept me or you don't.
Mhm.
But here's the thing, I'm living.
Mhm.
I'm not sick.
That's right.
I'm not down and out. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? And so to kind of wrap it up a little bit, I think sometimes you really want to be on top of it. Know your status. That's number one.
Mhm.
Know your status. Be comfortable with who you are,
Mhm.
what you're doing, right? And talk about it. Sex
Yes.
positivity. I need to be
Right.
able to have a conversation with you, to answer your question again, about what's going on.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's hurting from the rooty to the tooty, I need to be able to tell you
Right.
what's going on.
Mhm.
But I can't do that. The only way that you're going to protect yourself and your partner or anybody else that you may sleep with or get with is to be tested.
Mhm.
Know your status.
Yeah.
That's everybody
That's so
across the board.
Right.
Gay, straight, black,
That's
white,
right.
brown, purple,
Know your status.
all the way across the board. Know your status. If I can't do anything else today or any other day, it's to tell you to know your status. Get tested.
Yeah.
Google, do HIV.gov, go to the CDC, AIDShelp.org, which is AIDS Foundation Houston, where I work. All of that free testing all around the city.
Okay.
Splash is coming up.
Yes, it
We're going to be
is.
out at Splash doing free testing. We're going to be condom distribution and all of that good stuff.
All right.
So yeah, so just make sure, ladies and gentlemen, and then contact me. Titan Capri on all social media.
So one of the things I want to talk about when you come back is how do we...
Oh, wait. I'm coming back?
Yes, sir. You've been hired.
We'll discuss that after
You've been
this.
hired, sir.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is how do we educate that community, that 18 to 24? But even before that, I believe that kids start having sex way earlier than 18.
Yes.
So, knowing as a teacher that these conversations aren't happening in schools and they're clearly not happening in all families because we have these situations where children don't know. How do you recommend we get this information to them before they're 18? Because they're definitely engaging in the behavior before they're 18. So not so much for you to think about now or try to work through an answer now, but just to kind of think about how we can start to do this as a community, because Lisa made a point that until we start to take care of ourselves and each other as a community, how do we expect anybody? Why would we expect anybody from the outside to take care of us?
Exactly.
And if they're not having the conversations at home, and if they're not getting the information from their peers, which they're not because they're children, what is our responsibility as a community, and how do we get that information to them?
I'm gonna answer your question when I come back.
Sure.
But I just want to say this. So when I rebranded myself and I started my show again, right, I have a segment on my show called Pondering HIV.
Okay.
And what I do is talk about HIV facts, right?
Okay.
And so I do that so that parents, teachers, people can know, because sometimes what we don't see, we don't know, but you actually see it. You see it every day, going to the grocery store, doing this, doing that. You see these things, but you don't speak on it. So my platform is for me to be able to give it to you the only way I know how.
Sure.
And that's straightforward.
Sure.
So I think that's one way off the bat, but I'll answer it in depth when I come back. I didn't know I was coming back.
And then,
so
yes. And then also, how do we get to these campuses?
Yes.
Because as we're looking at universities, how do we partner with with these LGBTQ organizations that we can have some, because I just truly hear you when you say it's because we're not talking about it. And if we can get them at places where they're just talking about, just even if they're just saying things about what they're hearing so that they can dialogue, like we can just get the conversation started in these conversation centers like schools and universities. I believe that can be helpful.
Indeed. And I'm with you on that. One thing I am going to say is that a lot of times these organizations, right, these community-based organizations, they're out there doing the work. They're out there. We necessarily don't know sometimes, right? Because we're on the other side. Before I started working in the arena, before I started working with these organizations, I didn't know. But we do condom distributions, testing, we do mobile testing, we go out to locations and do all of that. And I think we have seminars, we have classes and all of that. And I think it's time out for it to be secret, right? For it to be a secret. So
It's also time out for people to stop, like Treva said, wanting somebody else to handle it or take care of it or teach for that matter.
Right.
It's time out for us to be scared of it. HIV has been around since when? So and now the resources are so much more vast than they were back then. It's time out for us to not know some of the things that we need to know or should know so that we can help somebody. And also for us to not talk about it.
And the resources are so vast now versus when in the 80s and the 90s when we were. So it does not make sense that we have so many people, especially young kids, who are A, getting sick, but B, being untreated and having to live in the same conditions that people were living in so long ago. And so this is ignited a fire in me, and so I'm grateful for you.
Indeed. I said I was going to show up today. I was going to come with 15 pages and
look at what two can do. Look at what two can do.
Look, and I'm living it.
But can I say this? If you know somebody like Titan, you have to share.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to share his broadcast, share his show,
Thank you so
tell
much.
people to follow him.
That's right.
Because the one time I saw you on Miriam's show, we was like guests together. I was so impressed because you can never get enough of somebody who just accept themselves.
That's right.
Because really, that is the cure for all that
That's
ails
it.
us.
That's
When
right.
you really just accept and love yourself,
That's
man,
right.
you can overcome so much.
So
And you
much.
can
The
love other
fear of
people.
learning your
Yeah,
results.
Yeah.
If you love yourself and accept yourself, if you're positive
Yeah.
or not, you're still gonna be okay.
Yes.
And knowing somebody like him will make you get rid of that fear, because a
Mhm.
lot of people scared to get tested.
Yeah.
That's
They're
right.
scared of the
Yes,
results.
That's right.
yes.
But when you just okay in your
Right.
skin,
Mhm.
you know, whatever result I get, I'm gonna deal with it,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be
Mhm.
okay.
I'm still
And I have somebody who can in my corner
That's
who
right.
can
That
talk
part.
That's
me
right.
through it.
That part.
That's why
right.
he's so valuable,
Mhm.
And I was
because
gonna say that too.
Mhm.
because you know Miriam and I, well,
Yeah.
me, I gotta learn to speak for myself. I am heterosexual, but let me tell you something. I have never met anybody as just self-aware
Mhm.
and
Accepting.
accepting.
Yeah.
And I was like, where did you get that from? And can
Mhm.
you bottle it?
Right.
Because if we
Right.
give that to everybody, the world would be a
Right.
better place.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, you know,
Yes.
in males, black males, please,
Yes.
if you have a son, if you have black males in your family, get them around somebody like
Mhm.
Titan.
Mhm.
Show them his social media, put them onto his show, because
Mhm.
our men just the self-love ain't there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not.
Even with our
Men.
heterosexual men, it's
Men,
not
exactly.
there.
Just
Yeah,
men.
and
Period.
then I was gonna
Black
say,
men. Period.
yeah, I was gonna say just across the board,
Mhm.
being a man is a hard thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Being a black man
It's
is a hard
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
And so I did my show last night, and I just want to say something to Lisa for that. Thank you, number one, for that. I really appreciate that. But I did a segment when pondering HIV last night, and it was the 3 Ds,
Okay.
right? It was denial, depression, and death.
Mm.
Right? We can deny all day long that
Mhm.
HIV is not prevalent and it's not killing our people,
Yeah.
right? We can act as if we're not depressed about it, because we are as a community.
Yeah.
And then we sit here and we turn our cheek or our face away from death. So just like you said, the young people are not being tested. They are ashamed to come forward. They don't want to talk, or the parents are putting them out the house, kicking them out, doing all that. And so then they're dying at an alarming rate. And we can't keep letting that. The children are our future.
Right.
And so I know I went through those 3 Ds.
Right.
Denial was first, because I didn't look sick,
Mhm.
right? Until I got sick,
Okay,
right?
right.
So I was denying. And then
But
all
you
of a
felt
sudden I
it.
got sick, right? And I
Mm.
lost like 60 to 80 pounds.
Wow.
Got put in the hospital for a month. Then that go to depression, right? I was depressed because now I didn't know my family was gonna like me.
Yeah.
Who was gonna do
Everybody
what, right?
knows.
Say what? Yeah.
And then the death. So death came because I felt like I was dying, and I asked for death. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we have suicidal people out. We have mental challenges and all of this stuff going on. So I'm gonna say this: I'm a black gay man who's HIV positive, but that doesn't mean because you're heterosexual you can't talk to me.
That's
I talk to
right.
everybody.
That's right.
Talk to
That's
everybody.
right.
The message, the knowledge, the education doesn't have a
Attached to the
gender,
disease.
or
Right.
it doesn't
It's
have a.
attached to the
It's
disease.
across the board.
That's it.
Or
It's
can't
across
learn
the
from
board.
you.
Sure,
Because
exactly.
that's what I
Sure.
really wish they could learn. More black men can learn, heterosexual or not.
Yeah.
Just love yourself,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
you are.
Definitely.
It is so hard being a single black woman dating,
Mhm.
trying to date, because
Mhm.
they don't love themselves.
No.
It's
Yeah.
like you gotta build them up,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah.
But you know
wonder what
though?
happened
But
to you.
happened,
But
yeah.
but that's the system. That's how it's been since slavery.
Mhm.
Since slavery, and I'm not taking away anything
Not
with
at
that.
all.
But if you plant a seed and it continuously grow,
In this way,
season
yeah.
after season
Yeah.
after season. What I mean,
Harvest.
years after
Yeah.
years. We just left, 400. Well, left is a word,
Yeah.
but 400 years of slavery.
Yeah.
We can't unlearn that, right?
Right.
We just had the
Right.
case with George Floyd. We can't unlearn
Right.
that.
The
And
trauma.
so I think a lot of times what happens is that's the reason we stay behind the door.
Yeah.
We don't want to touch the doorknob and open it
At
because
all.
we're afraid
Don't
of
even
what
look at
it's
the
going to
door.
say about us.
Yeah.
I have heterosexual friends, and this is what I'm gonna say this today. I don't like saying that.
Mhm.
I have friends.
I have friends.
I have friends
Right.
who are friends.
who are married, have
Right.
wives and children.
Right.
I have friends.
Mhm.
I don't have to put a gender or
Sure.
sexuality on it.
Mhm.
I have friends, and when I go places, we talk.
Right.
Yeah.
We talk. Look, bro, I'm
Right.
still a man.
Right.
I still
Yeah.
stand.
Right.
To be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just
I
being.
got you.
I'm
Of
just being
course.
honest. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I still do those things.
Right.
So don't ever discredit the fact that I'm a man.
Right.
When I'm with my
First.
daughter, people always say all the time, "Oh, so you got a daughter?" Yes, as if I could not be LGBTQ plus
With a
and have a
child.
daughter,
Mhm.
right? So my thing is, once we get away from that, which I don't know if we can, because it's just like racism.
Yeah.
We try to outrun racism,
Right.
but racism is already in front of us.
Right.
We're just running through it,
Mhm.
basically,
Mhm.
right? And we're still running through it.
Right.
We're another millennium. We're still
Right.
probably running through it.
Right.
But so just to say this to you all out there that's listening, young men, young ladies, our black and brown sisters and brothers, it is very important for you to get tested and to know your status.
Yeah.
It's very important for you to be open and honest about your sexual preferences, the things that you do, and things like that. It's very important for you to be open to this type of conversation.
Mhm. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
And so I'm saying it again. I'm Titan Capri on all social media, Thought to Ponder on Facebook.
Yes.
I go live every Friday at 7 p.m. You ladies and gentlemen, y'all come talk to me.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have a conversation, do it unanimously. I mean, I say unanimously.
Yeah, anonymously.
Anonymously. Ooh, y'all got me all crunked up. Like, what? But I really do appreciate this. I appreciate Stunner Radio. I appreciate the Love Power Radio Show. I appreciate you all giving a platform to this, because I thought we were good.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I started working in a community-based organization, that I found out that we're good, we're making it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
the
making it-
heck?
yeah, making it
And then when I found out that the 18 to 24 demographic, those are babies.
Mhm.
Those are babies. So I say to you all, talk to your children, educate your children. The only way we're ever going to get anywhere is education.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to get
That's
there.
it.
So I thank you all for doing this. I thank you all for allowing me to come on and to spit some knowledge and some education.
Thank you.
But I want to
thank
say
you.
this. It is easy as the CDC, Google CDC or Google HIV.gov.
Okay.
Go on, find out. And every city has locations for you to be tested, not only for HIV, for STIs and anything else.
Mhm.
Sometimes you may feel things may look wrong.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this point because I want to be clear. Things may look a little weird, feel a little weird.
Mhm.
You may have a little burning sensation, anything like that. Go get tested.
Yes.
Go get tested. And I'm gonna say this last thing, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody told me this long time ago, and I have lived by it. Right? When you get ready to roll down, lay down, horizontal poker, whatever it is that you're about to do.
All right now.
Whatever it is you're about to do,
Horizontal poke.
turn the lights on.
That's right.
Turn the lights on.
Yeah.
You can't see nothing.
Click.
You cannot get out of anything in the dark.
Yes.
Turn the lights on. Make sure you inspect, make sure you look, and if you like me, make sure you sniff and you smell, because that sometimes
okay.
can tell you
Oh,
what's
yeah.
going
That's
on.
right.
That's real
Smell
talk.
and taste, baby.
That's
Smell
real
and
talk.
taste.
What? So
That's
I'm
true.
telling you like
Ain't
that,
right.
like what you
Yeah.
doing?
This
What?
is an adult
Turn the light off.
conversation.
No. This is not no 1950s
That's right.
sitcom.
That's
We ain't
right.
turn no lights off.
That's right.
We're gonna leave that light on so I know.
I need to
If
see
you
what's
feel
going
the
on.
sense-
See
Yes,
what's
you gotta do that. Be upfront with your children,
Yeah.
be upfront
Woo.
with yourself,
Yeah.
and be honest.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think that you can do to live in your purpose and be in your
Ooh, I
purpose
love
is to be you.
That's right.
That's it.
This is a
That's
great
it.
conversation.
Thank y'all so much.
Titan is the
Like,
best.
so
Like,
good.
gotta be
y'all
over, like,
already know me.
You
I
make
do
it
not
so
fan out
easy.
over people.
Right.
At all.
Right.
But
At
Titan
all.
I am
is
so
just,
thankful.
he's
Yeah.
you are special.
Thank
You
you.
are
Thank you
really
so much.
special.
Yes, you
I'm
Thank you
just
so
happy
much.
that you
I
came
appreciate
through.
y'all.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all. And
Listen.
congratulations on the new location.
Thank
y'all
you.
up and doing y'all thing.
Thank
Come on, son.
you.
Thank
In here stumped.
Indeed.
Listen, Skirmish Mimi, this has been the Love Power Radio Show on this day,
Yes.
April 24th.
Fourth. I got you, dog.
Baby, she had
I
said
got
Christmas
you.
earlier.
She
so,
did.
you
I know, it's like, when?
Girl, this Saturday is almost Christmas. Like, wait,
Wait, what?
we still got Juneteenth.
I know, right?
Skip over it. I just say
It's
it's closer.
close, almost, yeah. Closer than what?
Yes.
Last Christmas.
Right.
Indeed.
Yesterday, by Mary. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Titan, this has been wonderful.
Such a gift.
Thank you. Thank
Such
you.
a gift.
Always.
Thank you.
I can't wait until he allows us to infiltrate Dr.
I know. I'm just waiting. I was like, can we just get an invitation?
Come
real
on.
quick?
Come
Just-
on. Y'all
just
already
let us
know.
when we coming. Just
Y'all already know.
let us know.
We black
ready.
and black.
We black
support each other.
home.
I know that's
what we
right.
do.
Yes.
That's what we do.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all come on to the show.
Let's go.
I know.
Come on to the
I'm with
show.
it.
No, I think we have been y'all have anything? Y'all have any nuggets y'all want to give for this week?
No, I don't. This has been rich.
Very.
This has been
Very. Lisa, you
rich.
got anything?
Not really.
She's so quiet this week.
Look, Tyler came in and put it down.
Put it
down.
Baby, look.
With that being
Thank
said,
you.
make sure you get tested, know your
Yes,
status.
know your
Yes.
status.
There's nothing wrong with that, and have those uncomfortable conversations.
right.
A lot of times, those are the things that we run away from. Are the things that we need to do or need to have. Have the uncomfortable conversation. Teach. Don't be afraid to talk about sex. That's
right.
okay. If you want to do it, don't be afraid to talk about
Right.
it. Right.
Absolutely.
And all the things that come with it.
Yep.
I just want to say one thing really quickly. It's not going to be easy,
No.
right? It's not easy to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's not easy to talk about things that you don't normally talk about.
Right.
But you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to be secure in your own skin
Yes.
to talk about it, because what we're doing, we're losing our children.
Yes.
And that's what's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that they're trying to take away our old folks,
Yeah.
but we're losing our children.
Yeah.
And if our children going to be the future, then how is it that it's
If they're
2021
not here.
and they're still dying the way they're dying?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
so know that.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You want to
Know
live.
that.
You want to
Absolutely.
live.
That. Until next week, it's been real. Thank you for tuning in. Love y'all. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.